like I said, I had that idea, but I was like, how do you effectively teach this to somebody who's starving? It's like the equivalent of like, here, let me teach you how to cook rather than give you food. And I realized that Bootstrap is more about like, here, let me give you some food, and then once you're fed, now I can teach you how to cook, because now you can focus on the cooking aspect of it. So Hey, what's up, Bootstrappers? This is Ryan Nickel coming at you, and it's been a minute since I have actually been doing some videos. I need to get some clarity, I need to take a step back. It's interesting, when you start Bootstrap, or when I started Bootstrap, because I don't think you started it, I started it. When I started this whole thing, I had the idea of what I wanted it to be, as far as the vision that I had for it was like, pretty much everything I was doing on a daily basis. That's why I had like a day in the life of a real estate investor and all these things. But here's the thing is, like, when you get started in a business, at least for me, I'm all over the place. Like, I'm trying what works, what doesn't work, and it's not a real good model for people to follow. It's like, man, this guy's doing this week, and the next week he's doing this, and the following week he's doing that. It's like, okay, he has had some success, but is it predictable success? Is it sustainable success? Is it long-term success? I mean, I've been doing this for 6 years now, so I guess you can say yes, it's long-term. But the question really is, excuse me, is like, is that the right way to follow? And so I look back and I'm like, okay, Bootstrap was basically, for me, was I'm a father, I'm a provider of my family. My wife stays home, she raises our kids, and I'm like basically talking to myself, like, hey, this is what you do. If you're out there, you're trying to make money for your family, you want to do it in real estate, this is how you do it. But the challenge is like, okay, yeah, that works, some of the time, not all of the time, as far as like certain ways of going about and getting marketing and things like that. Like, I realized that a lot of the stuff was kind of like, chance marketing. You just happen to find a house driving for dollars. You just happen to be able to find that seller that day. You just happen to, they just happen to be motivated enough to want to sell to you on terms. That was the whole thing, because I didn't have money. I was broke. I was on food stamps, I was unemployed. I was living, when I first got started, I was homeless. I was living in the back of some guy's office on the floor. So, like, all of those things are like what was happening to me. And so as I evolved, I got I'm doing flips now with a partner. I do some wholesale stuff and some wholesale stuff. I got into probate, probates. So the thing that I was doing was, these are things that were working for me. They were, helping me to grow and expand my portfolio. But the reality of it is when people are bootstrapping, they need cash like that. They need cash fast. And the idea of strategy of like driving for dollars, yes, that is a great way to definitely find deals. And I've done a lot of deals on the fly from driving for dollars. A lot of that comes intuitively. Like, I use a lot of intuition when I am shopping or shopping for deals, when I'm actually finding deals. But you can't just like teach someone that stuff. I at one point tried to do that. Tried very loosely. I went out and bought a logo, or had a logo design. I'm like, can't even see, this card's like blocking me. Called the Intuitive Real Estate Investor, IREI, and like I said, I had that idea, but I was like, how do you effectively teach this to somebody who's starving? It's like the equivalent of like, here, let me teach you how to cook rather than give you food. And I realized that Bootstrap is more about like, here, let me give you some food, and then once you're fed, now I can teach you how to cook, because now you can focus on the cooking aspect of it. So you can't teach someone to intuitively go and tap into source and get that stuff. I know I'm getting like kind of esoteric here and like little woo woo, but honestly, like, it's what works. Like, I'll take a nap. Like, I take naps after lunch, like a quick little power nap, or I'll go on a walk, just something to clear my mind, and an idea will like come to my mind, like, oh, bam, here you go, do this, and I'll go and I'll do it, and I'll get a deal out of it. Like how do you teach somebody that? Like, hey, I know you're starving right now and you want some money for a deal, but you need to clear your mind, cleanse your chakras, all these crazy things that I do, right? In order to receive this inspiration. And it's like, they're like, man, this guy's crazy. I asked him for a deal, and he started telling me to start kissing the Mother Earth or something, it's like something completely crazy. So, and I realized that, I'm trying to do all of this under the umbrella of Bootstrap because it's something that I personally do. And I realized that that's the wrong way, the absolute wrong way to go about doing it. That Bootstrap, at least in my mind and for now, is Bootstrap is about getting, I'm not even going to say wholesale. I'm going to say your first deal, but not even your wholesale deal, because honestly, that wasn't how I started. And that's not what I do today either. I know there's a lot of other guys out there. You guys can go follow them if you want to learn how to do wholesaling. For me, it was, how do I get my first deal to bring me money, cash flowing on a monthly basis? And that's really what Bootstrap is all about. It's how do I find the property? How do I talk to the sellers? How do I get them to give me the property? I mean, obviously this is a problem property. So these are problem children of theirs. These are like the property is, going back to the bank, it's in pre-foreclosure, or it's inherited, or it's something that they don't want to deal with the property. And so the only logical, in my mind, the logical reason or excuse or plan of action would be to, hey, get rid of the property. And most times people just let it go. So the idea of Bootstrap is, hey, I'm going to get this property. I'm going to get cash from a buyer. So someone's going to buy this property from me now. I'm going to get a large chunk of cash. And with that, I'm either going to pay some to the seller, or I'm going to keep it all. And then I'm going to get monthly cash flow. Like, that's what bootstrapping is all about. It's like, how do I do this in the least amount of resources? How do I, again, identify these properties, contact the sellers, evaluate the deal, and then contract it. And then, once you've done all of that, those 4 stages, then you go and you market and you find the buyers for these properties. Ideally, you'd already have a list of buyers. That's just how it rolls. You're going to have way more buyers than you ever will properties. And when you do that, you get money. You get money coming in every single day. I shouldn't say every single day, but I mean, it's a beautiful thing that happens. So let's, round numbers here. It's like, okay, you know what? I got a property for $100,000. I'm not going to sell it for $115,000, and I'm going to collect, 10% down on that. So I'm going to get $11,500, and let's say the seller wants $5,000, and so I give the seller $5,000, I keep $6,500 for myself, and let's say the monthly payment's $800, and I'm charging $1,000 rent. I'm now cash flowing $200 a month. So I get $6,500 right into my hip pocket National Bank, and I'm cash flowing $200 a month, like all day long. Like, I can do this in my sleep. This is what I do. This is what Bootstrap originally intended to be, and then it got kind of just all over the place. I'm bringing it back to its roots, to its core cause. This is what Bootstrap is. I mean, if you're out there and you know how to find deals, fantastic. If you're looking to convert them into seller financing, this is what Bootstrap's all about. I have a very limited space in my coaching program if you wanted to be able to do that. Honestly, though, don't even do that. Go straight to, I got a playlist here called 3 Days. 3-day training that I did. It was done maybe 4 years ago. I can't remember. Some of the things have changed as far as marketing these properties and trying to find these properties and stuff like that, but the mechanics of how to structure it, how to talk to the sellers, all that stuff, that hasn't changed. None of that's changed. It's all the same. Those are the basics. What I realized in doing this is that, it's only 10% knowledge and then 90% mindset. Like, that's really what happens in this business. And so what I teach is that 10% is Bootstrap. It's just, hey, these are the fundamentals of getting a deal, turning it, convert it into subject to, and then how to basically market that property, sell it, cash flow it, whatever you want to do with it. That's only 10% of what I teach. The other 90% is the mindset aspect of it, the anticipating the wealth, going out and looking for those deals that come to you on a very consistent, regular basis. Not because of what you know, but it's because of who you are on the inside. It took me a long time to figure this out, to realize that what I think about is what I attract. And if I'm attracting failure and disappointment and fear and negativity and all those things, that's what's happening in my business. And but I couldn't see this until I got my money squared away and situated right. So I had to, of course, get some deals, get some cash in the bank, and then to slow down and realize everything is going to be okay. My family has food, I have a house, and I have health. Those are the most important things. Food for my family, home to live in, and my health. Everything else can take the backseat to those things. And so when I finally had the money in the bank that would allow for me to provide the food and the shelter and the health, obviously good eating, leads to good health. And then of course having a house, less stress, good health, all of those things work. Oh, I have my earpiece. I don't know if that's loud. To be able to then focus on okay, the positivity aspect of things. Okay. And it's not just positive thinking. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I do that allows for me to become kind of like a money magnet. It kind of sounds cliche, but that's what happens. Stuff will start when I'm in flow, stuff just start to happen. I start getting, text messages from somebody who I haven't heard of from a long time, or a seller who's kind of gone, ghosted. I can't tell you how many deals I have not necessarily lost, but pushed away because I was so needy. I needed the deal. I was desperate for the deal. And that desperation comes across in text messages. It comes across in your tone on your phone call, if you're talking to them. And so that neediness and desperation kills deals more than anything else does. And so if you're able to, work with that mindset, that's fantastic. But what I'm going to share with you though is going forward, Bootstrap is just going to be the nuts and bolts of the structuring of the deal, how to identify, how to contact, how to evaluate, and then how to contract. Those are the things that Bootstrap is all about. This is how you bootstrap into your first subject to or creative financing opportunity. And there's a lot of different ways to do it. And that's what Bootstrap's really going to be focusing on going forward. The IREI, or the Intuitive Real Estate Investor, I don't know if I'm going to create another separate either playlist for that or a separate channel for that, or if I'm just going to keep that close to the vest and do that with myself and then my coaching students. Haven't really decided on that, but just wanted to share with you, this is the clarity that we're taking the channel. This is where Bootstrap is going to really thrive. Again, so specifically what you're here for. If it's not for creative real estate, if it's not for identifying those deals, locking them up and that kind of stuff, then hey, it's totally fine. At least you know that now. You don't have to waste your time and precious energy going into this channel, because we got so many different videos here. So expect a video a week on some kind of something that's going to be geared towards either identifying properties, the contacting the sellers, evaluating the property, and then contracting, all having to do with creative real estate. All right, I'm Ryan Nickel with Bootstrap REI, and I'll see you guys on the next one.